Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is well. I want to share with you this story from Gizmodo. It's just a in context with this beast infrastructure, the digitalization that is happening, our mobile devices, and how they are going to continue to insist they are safe, they are non-threatening, they don't do the things that we know that we are doing. These people are gaslighting us, and they don't want you to know that really, we are already in a surveillance state, but they got to uh, quell the noise because we've been talking about it too much. Everybody has been talking about something, and then you go the next day and in your email or in your social media feeds or even just in your search engine results, you will see things that you discussed in particular while in the presence of your mobile devices, i.e., cell phone, tablets, anything that has a microphone that can listen to you. So I found this article hilarious, but I just want to mock it because we know, if you follow me and you understand and see what I see, you know, anytime they tell you it ain't so, it is so, and when they say it is so, it might not be so, but it's questionable. You gotta have spiritual discernment. But with this particular story, I know this was some BS, so I had to talk about it. So it says your phone is not listening to you. That means your phone is definitely listening to you. And you should be mindful of what you say in front of it, unless you don't give a crap and you are about that life. Um, so even what you type, depending on your mobile service, if you're trying to send something, pictures or messages about particular subjects that have been deemed misinformation or disinformation, or the powers have deemed possibly sowing discourse, those things won't send or they will disappear. Even on social media, we talk about comments. You type comments, the comments disappear, and people type in the comment 2 and 3 times, or you try to edit a comment, it won't allow you to edit the comment. Just all sorts of weird things happening. But this is how the stuff has been designed. Everything has a back door, and we already know that everything that has a microphone, including your television, if you got a smart television, you got a smart um, remote control and you can talk into it and it'll do stuff, is listening to you, period. So your chime doorbells, your wireless systems that record sound and imaging, is recording everything that you say. It's being stored someplace, and there are laws on the books that allow this stuff to be used. So we need to be cognizant of that. But I want to show you how they are gaslighting us. We know that these phones listen to us, but they're telling us it's not true. So it says the tech myth has pervaded all corners of society, but its origins show it was never true to begin with, which is a lie. Have you ever talked about a product and then suddenly got an ad for it on your phone? We've all been there, and then skeptically looked over our shoulders for the advertiser lurking in the shadow. But there's no one there, so we simply conclude that our phone must be listening to our conversations. You wouldn't be crazy for thinking that, but it's flat out wrong. Your phone is not listening to you. So if that means if our phones aren't listening to us, that means we have something inside of our bodies, inside of our minds, that these digital devices can read what we're thinking. If they don't hear us, they know what we're thinking, and then they can make it appear, because there's no other explanation. I could be talking about, a special brand cognac from someplace in a far land, far away, um, hundreds of years old, and it will show up in the search engine or in the advertisement or in some article, and there is no way that will have happened if I didn't search for it, if these things weren't listening to us, or they had some way to detect what we're thinking. And sometimes I honestly believe that these devices are, we have something inside of us already that allows them to know what we're thinking. And I've seen across the internet a lot of people talk about this. They will have thought about something, not even breathed it to anyone, and it shows up on the internet in an email, in a advertisement on your social media feed. So there's a there, but they want to act like we're exaggerating. And so I'm just here like, don't y'all let these folks gaslight us. This stuff is listening to us all the time. We already know it. It's already been confirmed. So the fact that they're writing this article now, and especially and it's tied to cell phones, is very interesting, because this is going to be the way, this is going to be our passport to all things in the future. If you don't have one, then you won't be able to participate in society, buy, sell, etc., etc. The mark of the beast infrastructure. So it says, have you ever talked about a product? I'm sorry, I already read that. The myth that your phone's microphone is constantly on and is listening to your conversations and selling that data to advertisers is one of the most pervasive myths about technology. It didn't help when a local advertising company falsely claimed it's true your devices are listening to you in December. It was a complete lie that CMG Local Solutions took off their website after 404 Media caught them red-handed. However, the myth originated a long time ago. So a lot of people are pretty freaked out about this item from Facebook where they can listen in on your conversation, said reporter Melanie Michael to thousands of viewers in Tampa Bay on live TV. The news segment ran on May 23, 2016, with an article coming out a few days later. So be careful what you say in the presence of your phone, said the 2016 article. Facebook is not only watching but listening to your cell phone. Meanwhile, Facebook has purchased WhatsApp and Instagram and all these other devices where they have access to conversations, text, verbal conversations. They have access to your microphone because it stays on. So I don't even understand. The article has since been removed from WFLA News Channel 7's website, but it's the first instance Gizmodo can find a major publication reporting this myth. The impact is still felt today, roughly 8 years later. The article quotes University of South Florida professor of communications, Kelly Burns. However, Burns never actually said that Facebook was listening to you. The article quotes Burns as saying Facebook is watching, and that I don't think that people realize how much Facebook is tracking every move we're making online. Burns published a blog post weeks after WFLA's story went viral, noting that she never actually said that Facebook was listening to you. Watching, not listening, said Burns in the post. Never said listening, and by watching, I mean tracking. So this is why in 2016. So it was largely a misunderstanding that produced the myth, but it's not a coincidence that it occurred in 2016. That was around the time that Facebook started ramping up its targeted advertising. In August 2016, the Washington Post reported that Facebook suddenly offered 98 personal data points to advertisers. The data included a person's age, gender, ethnicity, home value, and more. Facebook has become a $1 trillion company largely due to its incredible targeted advertising. Marketing companies love working with Facebook because it offers better data than any other platform in the world. So if you use Facebook, understand if you use it a bunch, if you have an app on your phone, if you have, it is telling on you, basically. Even Messenger, because Messenger is owned by Facebook. So if you use Messenger, it's why I don't use Messenger. I barely use Facebook. I don't have any of the apps on my phone. I do have it on my phone, but I never log in, and I make sure I disable it so it can't collect any data that I'm aware of, but you never know. So it says Facebook has completely abused this data, getting wrapped up in the Cambridge Analytical scandal just 2 years after the myth took off. After that point, it was too far-fetched for people to believe that Facebook was also listening to your phone's microphone. I mean, I don't even understand. Like they're focused on the microphone and listen to the microphone piece, but they never confirm or provide an explanation as to how is it that I could be talking about Febreze spray air freshener, and then I go to my phone, if not the same day, within 24 hours, and that thing that I was talking about, looking at, having a conversation about, shows up on my computer or in my advertisements or wherever I'm searching. Nobody can provide an explanation for that. Now, either these things got telepathy built into them, or something else is going on. So, please share in the comments if you've had these experiences, and what do you think about it? Because I can't, for the life of me, figure out how is it I could be talking about buying a coffee mug from a store that's not even here in my town, and the coffee mug or the store advertisement, or a coupon or something from the store that I was talking about, shows up in an ad while I'm searching on the internet. It's not a coincidence. Has to be listening. If it can't read my mind, it can't read my eyes, it's not in the room with me, present, it's not a person, it has to be listening. So I I don't even understand. They'd already abused your privacy more than any other company, so tapping your microphone didn't sound crazy. Needless to say, the damage was done. Vice added fuel to the fire in 2018, publishing an article saying your phone is listening and it's not paranoia. The article then mentions later on that your phone isn't actually recording you, but only does so when you say, "Hi, hey Siri," or "Okay Google." Why this is pervasive, it doesn't even really matter. To me, they just don't even give you enough decent explanations as to why what you're talking about or thinking about shows up in advertisements or emails on your devices later on, when you didn't have a personal conversation with your phone and ask it to do that for you. So it says, for iPhones, an orange dot appears at the top of your screen to indicate your microphone is in use. However, the myth has taken a life of its own. The more concerning thing is that advertisers don't need to record you at all, because they already know everything about you, which I do believe, but I also believe that they need to listen to us, because they need to know if we're trying to conspire to get up out of this mess. If we're learning stuff and not believing them, they want to know it all. So this is interesting. I just want to go to the comments. So one comment says, "Yeah, I don't know. Is my microphone being used to sell me cologne? Probably not. Have phones been used by spooky dudes overseas to develop target packages on persons of interest? Abso-fucking-lutely. I guess just don't be important enough for a nation state to target you." Laugh out loud. So this says, not just products, but music. I've texted or spoken about an artist and had the very next song that plays on my playlist be that artist, or even the exact song I was talking about. Just saying, this article does do enough to dispel a pretty universally does do enough to dispel a pretty universally held belief. So I don't know if this is saying it believes it or not. So it says, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he did not exist. How they get to you, Max? Did they threaten your friends and family, promise a big payday? How they flip such a clean cut boy? So I guess they are ragging on the writer of this story, because they don't believe him, and I don't believe him either. So it says, if it's not, then how does OK Google or Siri work? Also, how is it that I can be discussing something like blueberry pancakes and then a short time later, YouTube will start cross pollinating my normal slew of car guy stuff with the best recipe for blueberry pancakes? Your phone is listening. See? Okay, Google or Hey Siri works because those specific phrases activate the program. They are services you choose to use. Your phone is not listening to you. It would be pointless. Read the article again. So you see how, people just believe whatever somebody tells them and just disregard the people who are like, wait a minute, I've had several crazy experiences where that happens. So I'm always mindful of what I say when I'm talking. And if I don't want my phone to listen, I'll take that bad boy and throw it someplace else. I'll hide it. I'll put it outside. I'll do something and be a place where there's no microphone listening, or at least I perceive there's no microphone listening. Um, so it says it still has to listen for those phrases, filtering out ones that aren't it. People were paranoid about the NSA listening to phone calls. So why is it so crazy now to imagine other groups doing the same that haven't been caught yet? Um, so it says, who would have thought that someone with the name Maxwell Zeff would be a shadow operative for big social media? And so that's the gist of what I'm trying to convey to you, is that you can't trust Jack anymore. Like nothing is real. Everything is being co-opted. People are being bought out, turned out, paid to write anything, everything. We know better. We are not stupid, but this is that Mandela effect, or gaslighting us, trying to make us believe what we know to be true is not true. And so you have to be very careful in this hour to not be deceived. Let no man deceive you, or woman. I'm the woman, but I'm not trying to deceive you. I'm trying to keep you awake and aware of what's going on. These people out here trying to play games on us, but we are going to win because we're not going to be defeated. We're going to protect our mind. We're going to live in truth. We're going to know what we know. And if something happens to you and other people are saying the same thing, you read these comments, I have had it happen to me and other people have had it happen to them. I've even been thinking about something and didn't say it, and the next day it showed up. So I'm concerned about what the heck is in us, where a phone can know what I'm thinking because something ain't right. So in any event, y'all understand that these phones will listen to us, even though they're trying to lie and say it's not. They lying. They're lying. Let me see who Maxwell Zeff is. A nobody. Nobody. He don't even have a picture. But he writes about Facebook all the time. So I would be very suspicious of this person. I wouldn't even be surprised if they are a new Khazarian. In any event, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Do not be fooled, people. We're living in a time of great deception and grand delusions. So you gotta stay aware and stay awake, and gotta know what your enemies are. And your enemies are not just people, it's also the technologies that we rely on daily for work, to do business, for social purposes. So just make sure that you are being mindful of what you say, and pay attention to when you talk about certain things, if they show up in your social media feeds, or if you are seeing advertisements or emails or things about things that you talked about, or sometimes even think about, because it really is happening. People are not exaggerating in this, and we've been talking about it for a long time. So if the NSA can listen to our conversations, they can activate our microphones on our phones without our permission and without us knowing. Why wouldn't these other um, uh, entities, tech entities, who have microphones embedded in their applications, who use microphones with their applications, why wouldn't they also be able to access your microphone? I mean, it's already been confirmed that social media platforms can do this. So like, I don't understand what the problem is. But in any event, be safe out here, y'all. Follow me on Rumble, Odyssey, Instagram, and Facebook. Links are in the description. And make sure that you keep praying, keep prepping, and just be mindful of the trickery that's happening now. There's a lot of trickery happening, and we can't be naive about what's going on. Gaslighting is here. You stand firm in your convictions. You know what you know what you know. You know what has happened to you. You believe it. Don't you be swayed by anybody who's trying to convince you that what's happening is not happening, because it's happening. All right? Okay, this is Molly K, y'all, and I am out of here.